Hey everyone, welcome back to the LJL, and we have Temporal and Infinity Dodge back here with us. We're going into the last game of today, so we are looking at. Wait, don't laugh at me.
I
Destination
can just
Focus
tell the
Me and
exhaustion
Crest
is there.
Gaming. No.
You,
Like you guys had said in the break, if it's okay to quote it, we've eaten the vegetables and now it's time for dessert. So.
yeah.
So yes, we are very much ready for dessert. What do you guys think that we're in for this matchup? DFM is second place, right? And it's they're second place, but they're just a little one tiny little match behind first place. So maybe this can put them ahead or not. I don't know. But when we look at Crest Gaming, they're in the middle of the pack, and I don't know if this reflects the way that they play, but it might. What do you
Perfectly.
guys feel? Oh, I see.
if you
Temporal,
toss
you
a,
want to take this one?
yeah,
Yeah,
you,
go
t- you,
ahead.
you toss a coin so many times, you're expecting about a 50-50 result, and 50-50 so far. Name of the game from Crest Gaming Act. As you mentioned, DFM on a great record. It's them and Sengoku ahead at the front. Their only loss is Sengoku, that undefeated team. So they want to make sure that there is a gap at the top of the table. We don't want to see another late run from Rascal Jester. We don't want to see another late run from maybe Crest Gaming Act to disrupt the standing at the top of the tables.
Perfect. Dodge, what are your predictions for today's match?
Well, if there's any team that's going to beat the likes of DFM or Sengaku on a whim, it's going to be CGA. They have the capability to beat anyone. Whether that showcases itself is, it takes powers beyond my ken to determine that sort of a thing. But I'm excited to see them play through bot lane, do their normal style here for Crest Gaming Act, and just get a really exciting action-packed early game. These are two teams that's something we should really hit home. These are probably the only two teams we're going to see mutually aggressive early games from in the LJL. It should be very exciting.
So with aggressive early games, what do we think that we're going to be seeing in draft for the bot lane?
Well, there is a big, we may have seen a big, huge all caps message from myself on the CGA prep sheet, and it is please, for the love of God, do not pick Ezreal. We want to see hybrid enabled. We want to see CGA's sort of top of the line, international caliber carry just absolutely explode the bot lane. We don't want to see old reliable Udapon just left in position in the perfect setup to just come into the late game. We want to see hybrid well and truly enabled. No safe lane picks here. Please.
What about
Please.
you, Dodge? Please, okay.
Yeah, no, I mostly agree, right? Like it's a plea
Right.
to hybrid. I don't like to just like fall back and harp on stats a lot of time unless they're really exceptional or out of the ordinary in some way, but something that just to hammer home how hard hybrid is funneled in this team, gets something like 28% of the gold share on the team and does 40% of the damage output. Those numbers are so far outside the normal for the damage and gold distribution of a competitive League of Legends team. It is insane how much hybrid is relied on by this team. Don't give him Ezreal. Give him something that scales harder, has more side lane potential, and just has more outplay potential. Give him something that you know if you get to 35 minutes, he's going to win you the game. I want to see a Kaisa, a Jinx, and a Felios. Something really, really crazy for hybrid. No Ezreal.
All right. Hopefully, no Ezreal today. But talking about hybrid, how do we think that he matches up against Utapon? It can be in any terms,
Yeah.
mechanically or champion pool, whatever you guys have to share. We can begin with Temporal again.
That big reliance on hybrid is like ever present throughout the game. You want to win a dragon, you best have got hybrid involved. You want to go to Rift Herald, probably rotating bot lane, or you're relying on some pressure in the bot lane. Udapon does not need to provide this. And then the only point where they match up in the game is, hey, if we're winning a late game team fight, let's bring in this carry that we've farmed up and we've got ready. Hybrid needs to have been present the entire game before this. Udapon doesn't necessarily need to, with his all-star side laner, Evie on the other side, normally placed on something that is flexible in his carry potential, maybe an Urgot, maybe an nah. I'll say it, nah. Thanks, LJL. Just nah every game. Something like that
Right.
means he contributes at all stages. So Udapon does not have as much pressure on him to deliver the same carry performance.
I think that sums it up nicely, right? That's the biggest difference, is the mental one. Utapon knows he can rely on his teammates and has mechanical skill, for sure. Hybrid has oodles of mechanical skill, tons of skill expressive situations he finds himself in, but sometimes the pressure of knowing you have to execute in those skill check situations can, make your arcane shift over a wall into 3 people trying to carry a team fight desperately. So I think that's definitely the biggest difference, is that mental edge, knowing you have the quality of backup around you on DFM versus what you have on Crest Gaming Act.
That is definitely always helpful. I think that on top of that, maybe we can discuss a little bit about the creativity of DFM's drafts. If I am not wrong, they picked Vladimir and Skarner the last game, right? That was their pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering what other, like, if that will put them in a sort of an advantage against this team, or if they are a little bit too creative, it might not really work out.
Yeah, there's an intense mind game here. When DFM are creative, it tends to go really well. They won't choose to go for something original every game. And then if they do go for something that's only a little bit out there, maybe 1 or 2 picks unexpected, they'll happily twist part of their early game to keep it together. This can falter against a team like CGA, who are also known for getting a little creative in the draft phase. We look to Kashin generally to lead the jungle meta across the LJL. Normally is on things a little bit faster than everyone else. Happy to pick up something new. And in the slightly stale stage of Wukong, Viego, Volibear, this might be someone we look to who already understands the Skarner and can maybe respond appropriately to DFM.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shakedown of the situation there. I think something that worries me about DFM is that they still don't look like they're firing on all cylinders compared to Spring. And I wonder if they're sort of crutching on their individual skill and their capability to pick these weird and exotic picks, because they aren't comfortable or set with what they think works best in the meta yet. And if they're still in that experimentation phase and really trying to figure out what's going to get them to gel most consistently.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that's it for us. Draft is in, and I will be seeing you guys after the game.
See you soon. All right, we've got
just a moment yet seconds, on the draft going on through, but that will be coming any second, as I don't know which way to lean. I'm a bit off center on this one. There we go. I just have to pop a little 45-degree angle this way. As right, I don't have to pose any longer, Temporal. We have draft. Thank goodness for that. I'm not the master of shapes and angles that Nymera is, but we have picks getting banned out. We have Aphelios taken off the board. That is one of those picks I want to see Hybrid pilot. Meanwhile, it's Sejuani and Olaf, so top lane focus, interestingly enough.
In the first 6 games, Hybrid has played 2 Aphelios, 2 Ezreal, and 2 Kaiser. So, the Aphelios, the hyper carriest of the lot, won't be returning, and very, very interestingly, that is Olaf gone. So Ebby and his top lane won't fall afoul of that all in 1 versus 1. Viking Seraphine gone as well, another huge power pick. The Wukong not in this game, so we won't see a Kashin adaptation. Instead, we might see an all new jungle lineup.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. We have I'm sure endless opportunity for Poppy to make an appearance, as she so often does in the able hands of Steel. Really sort of left on Poppy duty for a lot of Spring Split, and when there's so many mobility-based champions in the meta, it's definitely an intelligent choice, but another 80 carry taken off the board, as that's an easy first pick Zeri. Didn't have to think about that one too long.
All right, we won't be seeing a repeat of Ruler's all-encompassing Lucian from earlier today. CGA removed that one. Won't let DFM test it on the day. Zeri coming through. Strong hyper carry on the patch can be met with a whole bunch of interesting things out of the bottom lane. I want to see CGA dive into their bot lane straight away. I want to see potentially a Nautilus, potentially a Renata, something to set them up. The Yumi's fine. We want to see this paired with a hyper carry that can walk towards the Zeri now. The Ahri provides an option for the approach, but I want to see the bot lane rounded out before that second round of bans. Otherwise, this could go sour quickly for CGA.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Nautilus, definitely one of those champions that's looked at as the hardest counters to Zeri. When she's zipping and dashing all about the place, you just have to land that depth charge, which is a nice easy point and click CC. We'll follow her over the wall, keep her set up for your team. But it will be the Ahri locked in, and I know Nymera said he was sticking around to watch the game today, so we'll have to keep an eye on his Twitter. A Medjai's watch, I'm sure, will be underway for Kaito on this here Ahri, but now it's up to DFM to find the response in the first phase. What are we looking at? Pair up a support, find a mid lane counter. What's the angle?
It's pretty open right now. It depends what they're going to pair up with this Zeri. Viego to thrive in the chaos. You normally see this as a response in the jungle, but with the Wukong gone, with Olaf off the picture, still feels comfortable onto this one. I'd like to see something in response that deals with the King of Chaos himself. Yaharong choosing violence. We saw the Lissandra hover there, which is a really acceptable answer into the Ahri, but instead, the 1v1 outplay of the LeBlanc, something we've seen come back into the meta in the last few weeks, going to be present instead. And CGA, they see this. They know that LeBlanc can only come forwards onto one member reliably. They're going to pick the Twitch.
Let's go!
Oh my gosh. This is seen as a counter to the Zeri. However, when it goes wrong for our rat in the bottom lane, it goes wrong fabulously badly. Does not have a spine to stand up on if he falls behind. Hybrid has chosen violence and will have to come together really harshly to make this game work.
Yeah, and I like CGA basically identifying themselves into a position where they have drawn the same conclusions I have. And because I like to toot my own horn, that makes me feel very good. You get Hybrid on something that scales like a mother trucker, pack a wallop in the late game with this Twitch. And now we are going to see different smatterings of focus from both of these teams. Obviously, CGA wants to get rid of that lockdown, those engaged supports that would love to feast on a nice squishy rat and cat combo.
Both
and
of those
DFM,
guys get you a
meanwhile,
2-for-1. They, any CC applied will knock the Yuumi into the air as well. I'm really interested to see a top ban here from DFM. Ebby, he's not normally someone who requires a lot of support in the draft phase. The picks are all open. He will not probably be getting counter. That's 2 picks taken away. I would have liked to have seen the poppy there from CGA. That was a good ban away. And it will allow DFM to dash forwards. But now, what on earth is our king of the top lane going to pick?
Yeah, it's going to be the counter pick, of course, saved for top lane for CGA. Xin Zhao going to be the pickup here for Kashin. Blind Orn, I guess.
It's fine from an angle. It will allow access to Twitch. But I really don't like it for Ebby here. I really think something like the Urgot could have gone further with the presence on the map, with the ability to get up in the face of the Twitch. This is a departure from the DFM style we normally see. Support is left, and the Zillion, oh man. Oh, the Zillion and the Renata both would wreck face. If we're going to see the special singed, I'm not sure this is the time for it.
Yeah.
Support pick here. It has to add something to the lane.
Oh! Pyke gonna be locked in. This is a fun one. We saw, who was it? I think it was CGA who last broke out the Pyke, right? And now the troll hovers in good measure in response.
It tends to come from Europe, Pyke's favorite region. And instead, this time around, DFM, they're going to try that, getting the 2-for-1 on the hook into the I've forgotten the name of Yuumi there for a second. Into the cat in the bottom lane. Cat in the rat.
That thing that we all hate. Whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's going to be that kind of game. That extra amount of CC and then the execute before any healing can come in gets you off the board that much quicker. Reduced time to kill, really effective against healing. An extra statistic I think we're going to see come in across LoL esports this next year. All that more important with the durability. Just means that our swordsman in the bottom lane with his rusty harpoon can maybe make a difference in a lane that is going to be heavy contest from level 1. Zeri into Twitch likes to scrap and fight so much. And at the end, we did see a Gwen lock in there. It should win the 1v1 up against Evie. Nap with a huge task on his hands.
Yeah, an interaction I really like about the Gwen as well in those later game fights when the Pyke sort of becomes a bone skewer bot. You got a nice little immunity button you can press there, make that hook not so much of a threat, so definitely takes away one of the few things Pyke offers in the late game, which, I mean, it's looking in I'm just a play-by-play caster. I'm a pea-brain, but to me, it's looking like CGA might have the better late-game comp for themselves here.
Depends on how Kaido survives this early game. The biggest difference here is if Yaharong smashes that 1v1 as LeBlanc is, picked to do so, that is the aim here, don't get me wrong, then it will be really hard for CGA to interface at all with DFM's frontline. They'll have the Twitch all-in option, but that's not going to kill an Ornn on its own. It's not going to take out a Viego who's on the flank away from their team. Instead, this Ahri will be the pick. It will be the start and the finish of fights for CGA. And if it gets smashed, if Yaharong executes here, so we've seen him struggle to do so a little more than in spring this split, it could go either way out of the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely could. I gotta say, I really like that little cat. Are you where you shouldn't be? That is going to be the kill going through. First blood already for DFM. That's not what you want to see.
Oh, they get the ward as well. They'll donate it over to Yaharong. He's going to get level 2-1 a minion earlier on mid. This is disaster dodge. This is exactly what CGA don't want. The greedy ward. That Yuumi a little slow without anyone helping her. And oh man, DFM, they've set up mid to get a spike on level 2. They've set up their bot lane for success. And it's not even 2 minutes on the clock.
Man, that is a Dark Seal and an extra potion for Yaharong picked up. That's going to be so rough for Kaito. I was just about to mention, I'm so excited to see LeBlanc versus Ahri. This is such a throwback matchup. Assassin versus assassin skill matchup.
Is it 2013? It might
Precisely.
be 2013.
Precisely, but it might be a bit of a wash now as the leash is going to come through for Steel. Starting... He's going to go through try to get to Krugs, surely, right? He's not going to...
No, he's going to go all the way around. Will be spotted on the ward... No, what?
No shot. They're going for it. Bone Skewer. That cat went on the rat, but it's not going to do anything. Hybrid, why are you flashing, brother? Wait, maybe he gets out with the stealth. Can they actually find the chase down? The red buff is there for Steel. Does he have the W range? He does not. I guess he didn't land the first time. I don't really understand how Hybrid made it out of there. Took both sums, but now Kashin coming on in, trying to cash in on this situation. Going to fully stack the Conqueror. Here comes Kaito as well. Steel has no flash. He's just delaying the inevitable. And what did we say, Temporal? These two teams will take it to each other in the early game.
It's not even measured aggression, it's just aggression at this stage. They do extend CGA's XP deficit in this bottom lane. This pike will be powerful. But they step too far. Steel committing too much in the early game. He's only got a single camp. That's his red buff only taking down. This Viego is going to take so long to get back out on the map now. CGA have bought themselves time where we didn't think time would exist.
Yeah, it's... a little bit of a flutter step for CGA, well earned, but definitely still going to be a rough one without summoners in that bot lane, save for Nema's heal. Going to have to, rather, Ignite, going to have to be used so judiciously to try and protect themselves. Level 2 finally going to come through as Kashin maybe trying to find another play down here, or just a little bit of juicy scuttle meat. Instead, might have to be the bailout of Kaito. Nope. Nothing doing.
No, nothing to be done there. The LeBlanc very, very flexible in moving backwards and away. As soon as she's got that distortion, pings down. That will be Kassin spotted on his buff. Oh, sorry, on his wolves, rather. I kind of want to see both junglers path towards top here. We saw a wave just go under the tower. So now Ebby has a lot of power to either push in or hold the wave. Both junglers can try and make the most of a vulnerable situation for Nap. Harp is just continuing to apply pressure in this bottom lane. Pressure across the map. We do see a CS lead in every single lane for DFM. That power of the level 2 and Ahri leaving to make sure Kashin secured the kill onto Steel. And of course, this pressure from level 1 in the bot lane means that there is an economic advantage. 500 gold already for DFM.
They're at it again. Bone Skewer completely going to whiff the guess on which direction that stealth did go. Not going to land true for Harp there, but you gotta love the nuisance gaming. Just really trying to take it to Hybrid and Nemo whenever you can.
He can. He's just trying to get up in there. He's just like, hey, you can't have that CS. You can have a little bit of my health bar and I'll heal it back, but I'm going to try and mess with you now. I'm going to interact. Going to try and get out of his lane. Harp will be spotted here by Kaido's ward, but Yaharong's got the way forwards.
Yeah, gonna
Flashes.
force the flash. That's so painful. I thought Harp was
Yeah.
gonna go for something really big brain sneaking around that Scuttle Relic, but Kaido, at least seeing him on the pink, has to flash early.
Yeah, I think if there was Ignite from Yaharong, there is maybe potential for a flash forwards there from Harp, and then with the 2 Ignites stacked after each other, so sort of one, give it a few ticks, stick the other on top, that might have been enough for a kill, but it's missing, it's not there, and Harp, he's going to try regank with the wave position in bot. He can't just get away with leaving.
Yeah, thankfully the bind didn't land, but the Bone Skier almost does. I feel like Harp almost outsmarting himself with some of these Bone Skier angles.
Yeah, a little bit too much on the guessing ahead on Kaido's footwork. Udapon will now get some solo experience. Still up in CS, so Hybrid getting a little bit back isn't the end of the world, but Kishin is going for a lane gank in this bottom lane. He's standing just up behind any wards. He's going to wait for them to be scanned out and move forwards here. With Udapon gone, it's not going to get a huge advantage, but that is numbers for Dragon ahead of DFM.
Yeah, level 4 for this Xin Zhao, going in on it. Has the Iron Spike Whip and the refillable pot, but no Vampiric Scepter, nothing of the sort to add extra sustain. Could be a bit dangerous if he gets discovered by a support roam here, but it's not going to happen. They have to deal with the wave. Nemo coming in will offer that sustain that was missing. So that's just going to be a nice clean pickup on a first Drake once this might comes through. It's not stage 2 yet.
It's sort of the duality of Xin Zhao. We see he's always very good at providing like that invulnerability field, the ability to like jump forwards and then be like, hey guys, come save me, we bought some time. But when you get an early kill, when you get loads of farm, can be a carry in his own right, despite having exactly the same items. It's just where he's at with his items, with his XP in the game. With the dragon, that's going to slow him down slightly, but whether he will be that carry as Kaido outsmarts this gang,
Yeah,
a huge question for CGA.
Nicely aimed charm.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth. Good job, Kaido.
We do love to see it from the Fox there. For a moment, I was a bit worried. I was going to say, leave this poor Fox spirit alone. Hasn't she suffered enough at the hands of DFM? But
yeah, Yaharong's still trying.
Yeah, it is LeBlanc's job, I suppose, to smash this lane, because definitely not going to be super effective if the snowball doesn't continue rolling downhill, right?
Yeah, you don't want to get to the stage where LeBlanc isn't able to sort of chip out a carry ahead of an objective. It's sort of the main way she generates advantage for her team later on. So we see it'll just be a continuation of the next few minutes. We'll see DFM trying to interact, CGA seeing if they can just squeak through this early game. They've got the dragon, and the gold lead is, only just about growing as it was earlier. So they're holding on, and now we're looking for a reversal. We want to see that growth slow down from DFM, and to see CGA just smoothly go into the mid game.
Yeah, it's DFM with the gold lead at about a 1.5K. Not the most worrying trend for CGA. They did pick up that first Drake, so they have something going for them. They have scaling on their side, but DFM, we've seen it do them a million times before. They could make that gold lead explode in a moment if you give them a little bit too much of an angle.
Yeah, one big team fight. Normally the way DFM says, oh, this game was even. Now it isn't, because we haven't necessarily got the gold, but we've taken the fights we wanted to. Kaito here, advantaged in the fight.
Yeah, that's going to be the charm. Landing has the minions as well to get some extra damage out, but the binding is good. The item advantage going to be the difference maker for Yaharong there. And now we have a bit of a situation brewing around this Herald.
All right, DFM got on first. Yaharong is there to support Kishin, all on his little lonesome.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate series of events as the flash pull through on the stun, not going to come through for Harp. Kaito and Nemo going to get out, but the Rift Herald will be the prize for DFM as Kishin was just in a really rough spot. Going to pop the corners, Kaito with the Bone Skewer, max distance. Lock it up, baby. That's another kill secured for DFM.
All right, forget Mickey Pike. It is now Harp Pike time. Our all-star support who always makes bot lane look so good. The max range hook time and time again secures DFM a colossal advantage. That's a 2K explosion this mid-game as our main character of the LJL, even if they're not top in the standings, establish themselves. Before 10 minutes, they are out on the map, and it's looking good.
Aye, that it is, and we're at that stage that we've all been in our solo queue games temporal. The cat has abandoned the rat for the jungler.
Yeah, we're going to see the replay here just before we cut back to live. DFM get in first, and Kishin gets interfered with here. You'll notice he gets the challenge off, but The ultimate does not knock anyone away if you've challenged them. It does not knock away the Ornn, who is unstoppable, so falls down relatively quickly. Harp and Yaharong here continue to apply the pressure, and as soon as the chains come through, it's real simple for Harp to just nail Kaido in the mid lane.
Makes it look so good. And I was doing my prep for this game, and as that's actually going to be okay. Frog collected by jungler. No big deal. But yeah, it's so funny. I was doing my prep for this game, and Harp, I was watching the VODs back. I was like, wow, this guy has such an intelligent understanding of roam timings. He's so far ahead all the other supports in the LJL in terms of making his roams impactful. But when you're playing Pike Temporal, it doesn't need that big brain understanding of when to pair up with the jungler, when to get out of lane. You press W, you go mid on repeat. We've seen it over and over again. But now he is bot lane.
Kashin off to the side.
Yeah, that's Hybrid going to dodge out, but it's not going to take very long at all before he is finally collected. Now Steel getting the resets, but can they turn this around? Because Shin trying to turn it on to Yutapon, has the wave now to block things up a little bit, getting that ultimate passive stacked all the way. The wind becomes lightning, not going to connect. Here comes Yaharong around the flank. They've got Kashin pinched under the turret, but they're not going to overforce Yutapon's health bar just a little too low. Trying to find the static shift poke, but they're abandoning the play for now. Goes about as well as could be expected for CGA.
Yeah, Kashin was there for the reversal. Yaharong is going to try and keep going in mid lane.
Yeah, just going to get the chunk.
Yeah, just decided, hey, you're not allowed to contest this for a little while longer. With that bot lane fight, it was a bit concerning. We're going to see the replay here. CGA really wanted this. They wanted to bait in DFM. They weren't counting on Steel being there, maybe. And we see that as the hook just lands so cleanly. Hybrid flashes away from the Heartbreaker, but it's not as clean for DFM as we expected. Harp goes down before the From the Depths comes through, before that ultimate takes out the Rat. And with that, it ends up being a bit devolved of a fight. Not the cleanest win that DFM were looking for. Their advantage is only maintained, not expanded.
Indeed. Going to have to see a bit more execution come out from them. They're looking for it. Speaking of executes, here comes Harp. Doesn't land the stun, but the Bone Skewer does find the target this time. And that's just a blow up onto that little rodent in the bot lane.
Yeah, the Twitch not dealing so well. Just being out on the lane. DFM, they're just going to repeat gang this over and over again. Try and make the most of Twitch's vulnerabilities. As soon as you get onto the Rat, there is pretty much no way out that doesn't rhyme with burn all of your summoners. DFM, they're spreading their advantage out across the map now. They're going to try and bait Kaito in.
Yeah, Yaharong, I love this. Every time we cut mid, he's just going forward. That's a nice dodge on to the Bone Skewer from Harp, but they will drop the Herald. Can CGA stop this from getting into the turret? The eye is exposed, but it will find the plates. That's a little bit of gold going DFM's way, but credit to Kaito. He's dodged out on these over-aggressive attempts over and over again. Now it's Hybrid onto Yutapon, but he can just go over the wall. 200 years.
Imagine if Twitch could go over walls. That'd be crazy.
Oh,
and also
man.
look a lot like Zeri, so never mind, eh? But yeah, just an even trade, even from 2 levels behind, is a good sign that Blade of the Rune King is completed and is offering Hybrid a brief power spike. Going to try and see the Dragon take here. CJ try and make the most of it, but don't get me wrong, their carries are behind DFM's, and DFM are rushing forwards.
Yeah, it does look like they will collect that Drake in time, however, not going to be interfered with. Did it right on that Scuttle Crab relic, no fear. CGA getting themselves their second Drake here as the Infernal Rift does spread its ashes all amongst the place. Kassin not going to land. The wind becomes lightning. So close.
The fancy footwork from Yutapon, just dancing backwards and forwards in the neutral. I'm really disappointed. I thought DFM could go forwards there rather easily and sort of not commit to the dragon and just try and sort of shop for anything on the out. They didn't need to stick to those minion waves, I feel. But they're going to take it cool, calm, and collected into the next few minutes. We are well and truly into the mid-game dodge, and with Herald coming up, the question is, where will DFM go next? They're going to try and run it back on mid, but they don't have the extra support this time.
No, they do not. Stun not going to connect. Kaito, I mean, he's just gotten used to it at this point.
Yeah.
It's been 10 seconds since I've seen a second person in my lane. Better back up.
It's difficult. The Ahri not having the ability to sort of play through this lane. The LeBlanc doing so much to just suppress CJ's approach vector in the later game. I have to see. I have to give it a few more minutes. See if CJ can get into one good fight. Maybe it'll be this Herald. It might be the Dragon afterwards. But if they're going to swing back, they've got to do it soon, or this Zeri is going to skate away with this game.
Yeah, definitely so. Kasin moving forward to try and see what he can see ahead of this second Rift Herald spawn. And they do have a nice little setup. Do CGA. Maybe Kaito can finally be aggressive with these charms, and it will land onto steel. Not going to be the most impactful chunk out, though, from this behind position. No Mythic for Kaito.
He's not as strong as he will be. CGA, they're going to start this one up quickly. They do see Yahorong in bot lane. He's holding the teleport, though. With that ward just in front of the pit, I think we're going to see DFM come together over this one. They are on the approach.
Yeah, here comes the TP. Ebby has the call of the Forge God, and here it comes. But that is going to be the two-man knock-up. The execute doesn't land those depths. Not going to be explored by the Pike, but it doesn't quite matter for DFM. They pick up an easy teamfight victory, pinch CGA in the Herald pit, and secure that Herald for themselves.
They're going to keep the snowball rolling, and I don't think there are many breaks left on this train. You know, you don't see anything disastrous from CGA, but everyone's behind. It's not a small amount of CS in mid. It's not a small amount of CS in bot. It's difficult now. With the long-range Orn engage, they should be able to pick off the rat repeatedly. Udapon found on his own will suffer a little, but that's all that Twitch can really do right now without committing ultimates, without committing summoners.
Oh my goodness, Yahorong under the turret, going to take Hybrid so low, but thankfully there is a Yuumi there. Yuumi's not going to be able to save the turret, though. That second Herald does find the mid lane tier 1. Nice little bit of pressure being exerted from Detonation, FocusMe.
We'll see the replay of the Herald fight here. That ward placed earlier just lets Udapon get right up in the front row. Ebby, let's have a look at our superstar top laner here. Does something cute and repositions himself with his face to ensure that the Orn Horn will get the maximum of the front line of CGA. And once you're through there, Yahorong and Udapon would have a great time were CGA not to disengage with their tails between their legs as they run back to mid.
Yeah, it's starting to be a very, very auspicious economic situation for DFM. They invested well, and now their returns are coming in. It's a 6K lead, and they should have everything they need to force a good setup for this Infernal Drake that will be hitting the Rift in about a minute.
One more rotation of vision before you get in. And with Yuumi in the top side, it looks like CGA might struggle here a little. Harp has got tons of wards in his inventory. We've got a fully stacked item, a support item, and a control ward. It's not going to feel the need to expend all of it straight away because there is that one more chance for CGA to get in with that tier 1 tower falling. You now have complete priority over the east quadrant of the jungle, and it's just on Ebby and Nap to maybe trade each other's teleports. CGA might go for the cross map here and just seed that dragon over. They did get the first 2, so there's a long timer on any soul.
Yeah, Evie saving that mobility correctly, though, as now Hybrid trying to open up on these members of DFM around this mid lane tier 2.
Ooh.
Yahorong, this guy just keeps going forward. It's so much fun to watch. Finally, a bit of an objective bounty claim for CGA, though. At least they get something, but it's starting to feel very floundering from them.
Yeah, Yahorong just explodes with damage. This is a great thing about the LeBlanc. Doesn't need to finish the kill and can just fall away and prepare to do it again in 20 seconds. DFM attacking infrastructure. CGA might have got that objective bounty, but DFM take one tower and push for another.
Yeah, Hybrid really trying to just soak the golden XP where possible, be the carry that we know he has to be at these fights, but not even going to make an appearance or Crest Gaming Act at this Infernal Drake spawn. As Yahorong is just being such a nuisance for Kaito. Like, what can he even do at this point?
It's maybe too much to overcome. Kaito just struggling on the RA. He's still got no mythic. We're coming up on 20 minutes. He will finally get the Everfrost, but the Everfrost is a concession that now he's just there to manage the front line of DFM, and that the Ari's ults and charms are not enough on their own. We need a second piece of hard CC. It's not the stage you want to be at when you've been bullied all game to just admit that your efficacy is going to go down that little bit more.
Yeah, never want to see your hopefully dashing, damage outputting, super assassin mid laner say, no, I'm a CC bot, guys. I've accepted my fate. Definitely doesn't speak well to the confidence of Crest Gaming Act here, but as per usual, it could still be the Hybrid show. But one thing that really jumps out to me, Temporal, is even if Hybrid finds a crazy flank out of stealth, We've seen Utapon run away so many times, and you're not going to find any aggressive moves if you're dead. Call of the Forge God forces a flash from Hybrid, so that's not going to be available for any offensive moves anytime soon.
No, 5 minutes where CGA All-Star carry will not have flash, and while Baron will be up to contest. 3 members from CGA here. This could be a really fast Baron for DFM, sort of at any moment. As you see Harp just waiting in the pit, they're going to start this one up. That is a long way to walk for most of CGA with no teleport on the Ahri. DFM will call them to the Baron pit, even if they don't want to take it for themselves.
Yeah, they are just playing with vision so exquisitely.
Oh,
CJ
Nap.
has to send somebody to check, and it's going to be Nap, and he is going to be in the crossfire. Thankfully, gets out fairly well, however, and is trying to turn it around with that final chapter from the Yuumi, trying to cut the Revi with this needlework, and they will find him, but look at that deep TP from Yaharong. Oh my goodness, the health bars are already so low. Hybrid trying to sneak about the place, and he is going to find some space, but Utapon right over the wall hunts him down. Nemo going to be next to fall. DFM just too clean, too far ahead. There's nothing you can do to stop them right now, and Baron is next on the menu.
CGA do get that bottom tower, they do get an objective bounty, but it pales in comparison as DFM take an explosive teamfight victory. They get the Baron, they bought CGA up here, and they did not let them get in. We saw Ebby fall a little uncharacteristic, a little bit disjointed in the early stages, but DetonatioN FocusMe are so far ahead. They can just smack CGA with their wallets at this stage. Flip that coin, but DFM has a wallet full of notes.
That they do, as we do get a replay here if you want to break it down for us.
All right, we're going to see Nap just get away with a little bit of murder there and be the vehicle for the Yuumi. Hold Ebby still. That is the objective bounty we see coming through. But that means Ahri isn't here. That means no Kaido to manage that front line. And it's pretty obvious as Utapon comes forwards, completely uncontested here. Yaharong does a little bit of extra damage. And Hybrid left alone, pretty much isolated from the rest of his team. The Yuumi, not enough to save him at this time. Will fall, and that's a Baron over an extreme lead. We're nearly up to 10,000 gold dodge for DetonatioN.
Yeah.
FocusMe.
At 20 minutes, that's what I would call stomp territory here for DetonatioN Focus.
It's getting faster. The wheels are spinning.
We had hoped for CGA to show something here, and they did a much better job, honestly, in the last meeting between these two teams. It was Crest Gaming Act in that one, getting on to Soul Point and really maintaining a good amount of effectiveness in the early game until they finally threw around a Baron fight at 20 minutes, and it's echoes of the same, but even less effective for Crest Gaming Act. Speaks well to DFM starting to really, hit their high water mark.
They are. They're hitting their stride. They're going faster and faster. We saw CJ try and pull something cute there, just ran at Yaharong from the side, but it's the LeBlanc who can just distort away. It's a lot to be investing into a champion that can just walk away from you. They might reclaim a little bit of control over mid. This tower is still up at this time, but with Infernal Dragon only 50 seconds away, they are about 15 seconds from having to pull the trigger, from having to get something. Otherwise, this will be a concession at Infernal Drake.
Yeah, Kasen going over the wall. I'm not sure if that was the dash or the Bone Skewer.
Bone Skewer.
Going to use the Grand Challenge defensively is now Steel starting things up once again. And look at Utapon's damage. Oh my goodness, over the wall. No fear. This is just what DetonatioN FocusMe does when they are on form. This is a scary sight to behold as they're just wiping Crest Gaming Act off the rift under their own tier 3s. Nap going to be the last man standing, forced under the Nexus turrets, but you can't escape Utapon with the Unicorns of Love Flare. That's a fun one.
Odd. That's an exciting one. Maybe they just like the icon. We'll have to see if there are any questions in the interviews about that as DFM. It's gotten faster. It's not a huge surprise, folks. The CGA coin did not land on the fabled magical heads today. Instead, they will be left all 9 tails between their legs as they run home, and their Nexus will be saved, maybe. DFM not willing to risk it. It looks bad-mannered. It is a risk for a winning team to maybe throw in front of the Nexus. No flashbacks to Fnatic games here.
Oh my god, you have poked a sore spot for me, Temporal, as we see just dominance coming out here.
Skewer. Look at that. It's so beautiful. Kasin completely pulled out. That's most of CJ's frontline now. Completely gone. Hybrid will let loose, but unfortunately the victim of all of DFM's major cooldowns thrown into the gate. And just look at Utapon let loose. This is some Zeri gameplay. You mentioned 200 years, but that is really what you can do on one of the best AD carries in this league. just let loose across a complete front line and nearly deal all of the damage himself.
200 years, 200 miles per hour, 200 volts. There's nothing Zeri can't do when fed. It's going to be the Infinity Edge and the stopwatch. I mean, I'm going to say there's 0% chance Detonation FocusMe loses this game with the open Nexus. I mean, Harp's just using the ultimate as a mobility ability. Shades of Hillsong as the final fight will come through. Kaito going forward onto Utapon, actually forced to go into that stopwatch, but it was a critical buy for a reason as DFM do find the first fight. I mean, that is going to be the 80 carry down, and Kashin onto Harp. Can they actually do this? Nap not going to have the sustain to do it. It's the cat onto the Spearman. That's going to be the win becomes lightning going out. Steel, though, with the stolen Gwen going to just be completely immune as Ebby coming in to help clean things up. That is going to do it. I mean, Hybrid trying to kite it in the stealth, but that's just the heartbreaker to break the heart of Middlecott and the rest of Crest Gaming's fans as DFM taking it 25 minutes.
There was a little bit of a pause there at the end, but a convincing win for DFM.
All right. Well, that surely was something. Oh my god, I'm mind blown by Utapon's performance on Zeri. That was really good, and towards the end, it was just I don't know, just made the game a little bit more special. What are you guys thinking? How did you guys feel about the drafting of both teams?
We did see different things here from DFM. Ebby, not normally the Ornn robot, and in this game did that job excellently, so everyone else has got something else to fear that DFM can bring out.
Yeah.
Sounds quite scary. What about you, Dodge?
Yeah, as we take a nice little look at this on the bottom of our screen. I mean, the Pike, obviously super exciting for Detonation FocusMe. They know that it's hybrid or bust for CGA, right? There's only one angle by which they're winning this game. So you put the world's most annoying support in his lane, you starve him off of gold, you kill his support level 1, and that's just sort of the entire game plan down the toilet. So I really like the adaptations from Detonation FocusMe here. I think they're steadily getting back up that hill to where they should be. Finished this game a minute faster than the last meeting with CGA, so good progress all around.
All right, now one step closer to the top of the standings. Do you think that this DFM would maybe I don't know, maybe take back a game from sorry, from
Sengoku
Gaming. Yes,
maybe. The big question
mild joke, maybe.
It's going to be closer. It's going to look closer to spring of last year, but we've seen Vital play nearly every game for Sengoku here. They don't respect most of their opponents in the LJL. Maybe they do respect it, but they're playing something different. They're keeping as much information away from DFM as possible, and who knows, when they go up against Sengoku next, is it going to be the Honey Show? Is it going to be Vital on Senna? Just making something different come together? DFM have got a greater challenge than ever before against this Sengoku side. And while they look like they're back to form, Sengoku are also far, far ahead of where they used to be.
Indeed.
Any feelings, Dodge?
They're going to do it.
As the resident Sengoku believer who was pulling for them all through spring, I think they're going to wipe the floor with DFM, personally.
Okay.
I think Steel is nothing compared to the likes of once. It's just going to be a massacre. Now, flat out, I honestly don't know. I think DFM are getting closer to where they were in spring. Hopefully they're starting to incorporate some of the lessons they learned at MSI, more so than be exhausted by the journey of that international trek. And I'm excited to see their rematch in the second round robin. Do we know what day that is going to be on? I'm going to check.
All right.
I think isn't it the 13th?
I think it's day 13.
Yes.
Look at that. Yes, it is. So that's one to wait up for. That's going to be a special one for sure.
All right, and now that we are done with today, sort of, what are the feelings about the standings? I'm gonna read them off. I'm not sure if we have the graph. Oh, we do. Wait, kind of, just in time, but I will update you, okay? So we have Sengoku at 8-0, still sitting at 100% win rate. Good for them. And 7-1 DFM, 5-3 for Hawks. We have Burning Core moving up with 4-4, and Crest Gaming remains. We have Rascal Jester as well. dropping down one game, and then we have Axis, and then V3, right?
Hey,
That's right. Yes. Oh, perfect.
Smurf
All
production.
right.
They have missed their deadline of the second round robin to repeat their performance.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It was. I was hoping it was going to be lazy script writing, right? We see it a lot in LCS and LEC. I was thinking that maybe Rascal Jester could pull the repeat from spring and really get on the right foot with the second round robin, but there is always the upcoming day 9 for them to start to right that ship. And I mean, I think them, Sengaku, and DFM. I'm not convinced yet on Hawks. I think that's still my 3 to watch for now.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of people are doubting Hawks, but I don't know. They've been looking good.
It's better.
But-
I don't trust it.
You don't trust
I
it.
don't trust it. It's not real. I think maybe as the split goes on, I'll get more convinced. But
Sure,
at this,
maybe.
At this
I mean,
stage,
it would be so boring to just have the same storylines over and over and over, right? Like, I feel
It
like
is.
No? Oh, it is?
It is,
Okay.
but I still don't trust them. They've hurt me before. You know, I think maybe we'll see. Just maybe the Hawks finish above 6th position.
Do you have sort of any ideas of who you think would end up in the top 3 towards the end of the split?
Sengaku is, of course, an easy throw-in, and DFM will not be falling below 3rd place. If anyone, I think, is going to do it, I think CGA are going to get their stuff together. I think they will match up that little bit better and come into 3rd position, maybe just as we go into the last round robin.
Why
That's a
CGA over
spicy
Hawks?
one.
Yeah. So the Hawks, I think, have done really well so far, but they still rely on big team fight pieces from Reiner, from Kanatu doing well in lane, which isn't always a given, especially as we see Nap having slightly better performances. You know, it's not always great. And Kashin really is. It's going to be always going to be the next game. I feel like he's going to play out something new in the jungle, something poised, something we haven't seen before across the world stage. I'm really excited for it. And I'm banking that is more likely to happen than Hawks is to have a good season.
Oh, interesting. What about you, Dodge?
Dodge is trying to keep it together. He doesn't believe in the coin flip.
I don't know if I buy any of that. I'm sure Middlecott is on the phone. CGA stocks are up. Buy. Temporal's in on the train. It's got to be Rascal Jester or Hawks. I think RJ will hopefully right the ship over the course of the split and prove to be the more consistent team. Like Temporal says, Hawks have burned me a few too many times. I don't think the synergy's quite there yet, but I'm going to bet on RJ if anybody to take that 3rd spot.
All right, everyone. Any last thoughts, final thoughts on what happened today? Maybe something a little bit about the bot priority of, I believe, every single game. It's coming in very strong. Why do we think that's happening?
AD carries are really good, even though
Especially
the
in this
durability
league?
patch came through. Yeah, in this league, you know, all the AD carries are pretty much superstars in the top half of the
Right.
table. Solid Secret, internationally renowned bot lane. You got Vital is proving to be fantastic, even though it means we see less of Honey, which isn't great. And then, of course, Udapon, fantastic at that level. And when you've got to take out, you know, the Gnar that's in every single game because it's LJL, and he takes 10%
Right.
longer to get rid of, you need to put 10% more effort behind your AD carry. So I'm not super surprised there.
Yeah, it's that's about the size of it. Slower global meta, post durability update. Traditionally slow league, 80 carry is going to pop off, and I wouldn't expect that to change anytime soon. You know what? That's just the way I like it in the LJL.
Okay, that's all good then. Well, guys, then I think this is it from us. Yes. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us for today. It was really fun, and can't wait for the next game day.
It's going to be exciting. Maybe next time, V3, huh? Maybe
Next time. Exactly. They're looking good. They're looking better.
Maybe.
Yep. Believers.